Hey YouTube, it's Craig here, Reviews for You. Alright, so just wanted to go through a few things today. Not a whole lot happening as far as news or anything else that's going on inside of Lucasfilm right now. There's just so much damn chaos that nobody really knows what's going on. But I did want to touch on a few things. Of course, CNN, the fake news network, has come out with an article about San Diego Comic-Con. And, of course, instead of writing actually about San Diego Comic-Con, they start bringing up the toxic fans and the this and that and the fanboys and the sexists and the, you know, the usual crap. Because this is all they have to go on. Now, this is an open call to anybody in the fucking media right now. Find one tweet that I have put out on, or anything else that I have put out on Facebook or Instagram or here on this channel or on Twitter that has harassed any person inside the film, any actor inside the film, because yes, they brought up the whole Kelly Marie trans thing, which we all know is just speculation at this point. Now, am I certain that some freaking backwoods idiot, said something? Sure, I'm absolutely positive. Although we do have pretty good evidence of the group that claimed responsibility for it is affiliated with Jason Ward of MakingStarWars.net. I have multiple emails going back and forth stating that exact claim, saying they were moderators for people's Facebook pages. He has, when I say he, I'm talking about Soy Boy himself, Jason Ward, the Rutledge lookalike. And he has multiple fake Twitter accounts, including one that's down with Disney. So if you want to look at the people that are actually doing all this crap, it is all these little SJW pieces of crap that hate themselves, that want to just run our name through the mud. There are, I think, 12 fake Twitter accounts so far that are associated with him and his buddies. And yes, that includes Steel Wars. And yeah, I am calling your fucking ass out too. So, with that being said, we already know that it's not us. Do we hate the film? Yes. Why do we hate the film? Shitty characters, flat. There's no the characters are just flat. No character development. Bad, just horrendous stories. We also hate the fact that they're going all against every 4,000 years worth of Star Wars material out there and just making shit up as they go along. And they're always, their argument against that is, well, it's a fantasy world with a fantasy force, so you can't really say that this can't happen. Okay, well, if it could happen between 4,000 fucking years ago and today, it would have happened. Especially with all the novelizations, books, and everything else that have come out there. Obviously, they watched The Matrix once too many times. You got 2 different directors, 3 different writers, all doing the same trilogy, and none of them have a complete story from episode 7 to episode 9. So, with that being said, that's why we hate the new Star Wars. Has nothing to do with diversity, where Star Wars has always had diversity. It has nothing to do with women in Star Wars, because if it was all men, I wouldn't even go watch it. I'm just saying. If it's all men, it makes a complete sausage fest. I don't even going to watch it. I really don't want to watch it. Now, I had a multitude of subscribers asked me to do a video on what it would take to get me to go watch Star Wars Episode 9. Because as of right now, you couldn't pay me enough money because I have no interest in it. None. I have no interest in Episode 9. I have nothing vested in that movie at all. So, if any one of these things does not come and happen, then I will not see Episode 9. Any one. I'm going to list off the things it's going to take to get me to go see Episode 9. And if any one of them does not happen, Episode 9 is going to be DOA. And that's not just my point of view, and I'm not the one calling for a boycott. I'm just telling you, I'm not spending my money on it. I'm not wasting my money on it. And to be honest with you, I'm just waiting for the D&D trilogy to come out. That's just being brutally honest. Episode 9 is dead to me right now. My Skywalker trilogy is over. But I love the fact that CNN fake news came up with a whole bunch of stuff. And the person they're using as a voice of reason is Rian Johnson. Because you can't have a more credible person than Rian Johnson, especially when it comes to all the hate that the fans have spewed out. Considering all the hate that this dickhead has tweeted out towards every fan. So, with all that being said, CNN, we all know they're fake news. We all know they're fake news. Their ratings are going down. I'm talking about quickly. And a lot of that has to do with them they flat out make up anything they want to make up. Doesn't have to be true. Just has to be sensational. That's all it has to do. Now, with that being said, I'll do a quick update real quick, and then we'll get into my list of things that have to happen in order for me to go watch Episode 9. Now, we all know that I finally got in the first Mara Jade lightsaber. So I am going to show that to everyone now. It is actually extremely nice. Came out extremely well. These will be the ones that I send off to Mara Jade herself. Yes, it is purple. Great sound. Just a beautiful lightsaber. These are the ones that are going to be up on the website, and one will actually go to Dark Side Riders in California. Do a silent auction on. The rest will be on the website, which is going to be Sabers for a Cure. It's in the middle of being worked on now. We've already got the homepage already being worked on. Brian sent me a thing this morning, asked me how it looked great. Asked me for what we wanted to call the website, and Sabers for a Cure just seemed to be a great name for the website. So, now we can get into my reasons that it will take me to go see Episode 9. Now, reason number one, or this has to happen. If this doesn't happen, the rest of it makes absolutely I don't care. One, the announcement of Kathleen Kennedy being gone. We already know she's been stripped of power. We already know she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Bob Iger does not like her and knows that she doesn't know what she's doing. And she was just supposed to be interim until they found a president for the company. That comes straight from George Lucas in an interview. As a matter of fact, George Lucas didn't even want her to look at the script ideas for 7, 8, and 9 that he sold along with the company. And he made Bob Iger... There were only 4 people allowed to look at them. He made Bob Iger actually sign that in the contract. So they were already in breach of contract just by letting her look at it. So that shows you how much he trusted Kathleen Kennedy with his babies. 2, Rian Johnson's trilogy has to publicly be, now we already know it's not going to happen, but it has to publicly be announced that it's not going to happen. Ever. In the history of fucking everdom. Is it ever going to happen? We already know he can't get he can't get a job anywhere in Hollywood right now. He's nothing but a liability to the company. If you want the company to go bankrupt, please keep announcing that Rian Johnson's trilogy is going to happen. Because we're going to make it go bankrupt. 3. Carrie Hart has got to be gone from the story group. along with her two cronies right up underneath her. We already know that Kathleen Kennedy has said earlier that she wanted the story group to be all women. And, well, it doesn't matter if you're qualified or not. As long as you have the right parts in between your legs, apparently you're good enough for the story group. So, Carrie Hart has to be gone. Her two cronies have to be gone. The next thing that needs to happen, because right now they're throwing everybody that's ever done anything in Star Wars in this freaking movie, trying to get people to go watch it. The next thing that would have to happen is we would need a suitable replacement for Kathleen Kennedy. I would want 8 to be completely dismissed as canon altogether. And I do mean altogether, gone, never happened, ever. Like that one night I went to the bar and came home and woke up the next, never happened. Never happened. All right, never happened. The next thing that would have to happen in order for me to go see it is a public apology to all the fans and all their customers. And that's a must. I mean, it's a must. I don't care if it's a blanket statement put out by Lucasfilm Limited or Disney themselves, apologizing for the way that their employees have acted on social media. They don't necessarily have to apologize for The Last Jedi because there's really no apology for it. We could all go along with a bad film, but when we all start getting attacked and start getting called names and everything else, they're subject to they're subject to libel, actually. Especially if I am in a conversation with one of their employees and one of their employees specifically comes back and says certain words. Do I have the amount of money that Disney does? No. If I did, I would already have multiple lawsuits out there. Because I have been called so many friggin' names by so many people. But, you know what? It doesn't matter to me. As long as I know the truth, that I'm not sexist, racist, bigot, anything. As long as I know the truth, I'm not worried about it. Which is why you will never see me back down from anybody. I've never backed down from anybody. I don't give a shit how big you are. I will never back down from anybody. Ever. Never have. Never will. The next thing that has to happen after the public apology, because we already know that this is, this whole Skywalker saga is screwed. And I do mean screwed. The next thing that would have to happen is, after the public apology, and like I said, all of this has to happen. If one of these things does not happen, Episode 9 is going to be dead on arrival. That's not just my opinion. That is the majority of your opinions. I hate that it's come down to that, but I don't think anybody that's employed by the company should be able to sit there and slander and call names and pick fights and everything else. Now, I understand there are some extreme assholes that claim to be on our side of this. And there are extreme assholes that claim to be on I love The Last Jedi. But the majority of us are right in the middle. We're not on the extreme side or anything else. I don't go out and publicly look for Daisy Ridley stuff and try and blast her because the character of Rey is flat in a Mary Sue. That's not her fault. It's the director's fault. It's the writer's fault. It's Kathleen Kennedy's fault. Being the president of the company, ultimately, it all comes down to you. So, there is a rumor going around, and I've not came out and said, yes, they're going to do this, or yes, they're going to do that, because there is a rumor going around in Lucasfilm right now that JJ is wanting to split this into 2 films. Now, would that be an ultimate disaster? If they came out with all this stuff that I mentioned earlier, it would not be an ultimate disaster. It would actually be an asset. Because the way they're going to do it now, trying to put all this stuff into a 2.5 hour movie is just going to be a shit show. It's like me trying to take all 100 videos that I have and put them into a 10-minute video. There's no way I can get my point across or tell any kind of story or get any kind of facts out there to you in 10 minutes off of 100 videos. There's no way. The next thing that has to really happen, if they do go the two route, the two movie route, and Bob Iger was well aware before The Last Jedi released of exactly how it was going to do. He knew exactly what was going to happen to the fans. He's not stupid as well. You don't become the president of a multi-billion-dollar company, $100 some odd billion-dollar company, 152 billion now that the stocks are coming down, $152 billion company just from being an idiot. Now, is he just blanketly blind? No. There were multiple scripts, multiple cuts of The Last Jedi, and it was it was Kennedy who made the decision on which one we got to see. I would actually like to see the other ones that were turned in to see if there's anything in there that's any better, because the story in this one is just horrible. It could have been done so much better. We could have had so much better characters by now. Kylo Ren should have been as powerful as Cadus, but he's not. Still not. He's no more powerful now than he was in The Force Awakens. Daisy Ridley should not be able to just touch people's fingers, and that's in the novelization, and gain even more power, because that's not how the Force works. And people go, what's the magical place? You can't. They can make the Force do anything they want. No, they can't. If they could, shit would have already been done. So, those are the things that it's going to take just to get me to go watch Episode 9. And if one of those things does not happen, Episode 9 is going to be DOA. And the only reason I would go watch it then, especially if they split it into two, is because we know they would be retconning 8. Trying to make some sense out of the bullshit that Rian Johnson put out. A visually stunning movie, just completely empty, hollow shell on the inside. Beautifully made. Not going to say it's not. The special effects, of course, ILM is always going to be number one in special effects, and they sure pulled it through. When it comes to characters, there was no arc on any of the characters, and some of the characters just flat didn't even need to be in there. They didn't forward the story, they didn't help the story. The subplots didn't forward the story or help the story. The plot holes in the movie definitely don't help. I would have liked to have seen one that's on the cutting room floor, actually, because it had better stuff in it. So, with all that being said, that was for my subs out there that wanted to know exactly what it would take to get me to go watch Episode 9, and it would take every one of those things to happen in order to get me to go watch it. Other than that, you won't be seeing me you will be seeing me at the movie theater doing what I have to do, but you will not see me going into the movie theater to go watch it. I'm just not going to happen. And it's going to be an utter failure anyway, with the movies that are coming out. This movie here, Episode 9, is going to be outdone by Dwayne Johnson, by The Rock. The Rock's movie is just going to tear it apart. It's not, and then we already know it's not going to do well overseas. It never has since The Last Jedi. It hasn't, and believe me, they've not forgotten about that either. The majority of the subscribers here are from overseas, and y'all guys know exactly what I know. Nobody over there has any interest in it either. So, with all that being said, as soon as we get the website up, as soon as I get the stuff off to Shannon to get all the Mary Jade stuff signed, which will be pictures, posters, the lightsabers, I've got books and comic books and everything else that I'm packing up. I'm going to send off to her to get her signed. As soon as I get all that back, I'll get the pictures and stuff over to Brian. Brian will get everything set up. We're looking at sometime in August. The website will be up and the auctions will be live. So it's going to be Awesome for her. With all that money going to the original marriage aid. So, I will see y'all in the next video. Keep in mind, if one of these things does not happen, we're not going to be seeing that. And that's just a personal choice of mine. I have nothing left. I don't care to see Luke as a Force ghost. I don't care to see Lando get destroyed like they destroyed every other original trilogy's character. I don't like them sucking the tit of the original trilogy, period. They should just go off on their own, do their own thing, and not Rian Johnson's own thing, because this guy is a freaking mental case. He's already admitted he hates writing. He already admits that he's bad at it. He already admits that he's ADD. He can't stand to do it. And when he does, it's sporadic, and you can tell. Not to mention the fact of all the plagiarism that was in episode 8 to begin with. And do I trust J.J. Abrams to come back and save the day? All right, J.J.'s not a closer. We all know it. He's not a closer. All right? He's the wingman when you take him to the bar. You know, he gets everything started, and then he can't finish crap. So that's why he's the wingman at the bar. I'm Craig. Reviews for you. Leave your comments down below. I am out of here. Before I go, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell notifications. Lots of people on lots of channels are getting unsubbed for no reason. That's a YouTube issue. We've lost 95 in the past 4 days that have just become unsubbed. And make sure you hit the bell notification. Why they become unsubbed, I don't know, but it's happening to every channel. Every creator that I've talked to out there is having the same identical issue. We have brought it to YouTube's attention. They are looking at it. I did get an email today. They're going to be looking back through there. Our analytics are completely screwed up right now. I actually have 1,000 more subscribers than what it actually shows. Depending on which analytical page you go to, and when you go through and count them all, they're all there. It just doesn't show them for some reason. I don't know. It's really weird, and that's just YouTube. YouTube is having issue after issue after issue right now. Their streaming issues are problems. Everything's a problem right now with YouTube. So I don't know if that's a management lack of people, or the fact that we're in beta 2 right now. Beta 1 did not work. Now we're in beta 2, which seems to be even worse. So maybe one of y'all guys out there can go to work for YouTube and fix the problem. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyway, Craig, reviews for you. I am out of here, and always remember that TKs do it better.